So my manager talks to 90% of my clients. We make that introduction to them. But when it comes right down to the nitty gritty, it's me.
Yeah.
It's taking the fall. It's me that's taking the hit if something goes wrong.
Sure.
It's like that, and people don't understand how difficult it is to actually run a business today.
Wayne Carini became a household name through the hit show Chasing Classic Cars. Each episode showed his deep love for vintage vehicles and the stories behind them. For years, fans watched him go from barn finds to high-end auctions, always with the same dedication. But lately, people have started asking what really happened to him. Is he still restoring cars, or has he taken a new path? Join us as we explore what happened to the legendary car restorer. No doubt Wayne Carini is one of the finest restorers in the automotive industry, all thanks to his skills in chasing classic cars. However, while his TV show focuses on what really matters, which is restoring and showcasing classic cars without controversy, the same can't be said about his personal businesses, F40 Motorsport and Carini Carrozzeria. Some years ago, his businesses became entangled in a lawsuit that threatened Wayne's reputation as a trusted car dealer. The saga is a bit messy and goes way back to 2010, when an Australian antique car collector, Robert Richmond, tried to buy a 1934 Pierce Arrow coupe he saw during a visit to the United States. Since Robert was on a trip and couldn't stay long enough to handle the transaction himself, he reached out to an acquaintance named Gary Dixo. You see, Gary was also a car restorer, and it was normal to entrust such transactions to him since they were in the same line of work. The plan to purchase the classic car was simple. Gary would inspect the car, purchase it if it was up to standard, restore it, and ship it to Robert in Australia. To facilitate the deal, Robert made a down payment of $98,000 for the car, thinking it would be in his possession within a few weeks. But that didn't happen. Weeks turned into months and then years, but still Richmond never received his car. Over time, the failed deal strained the relationship between Robert and Gary. However, in 2016, Gary filed for bankruptcy with the Pierce Arrow coupe still in his possession. Fast forward to 2017, he went ahead to sell the car without informing Robert. He contacted Gullwing Motors Inc., a company specialized in handling vintage cars for the sale, and that was where Wayne Carini came into the picture. As opposed to what may have trended online, Wayne had no prior knowledge of the agreement between Gary and Robert. He was only brought on board to do an appraisal, and that was what he did. Wayne estimated the coupe to be worth between $100,000 and $120,000, and when he discovered the parties involved in the transactions were willing to sell the classic car, he showed interest. After some bargains, Gullwing Motors eventually sold the car to Wayne for $110,000. To make the sale legitimate, Gary provided the certificate of ownership with him, which was passed to Gullwing and then to Wayne. With the certificate of ownership in hand, Wayne thought he had everything under control and moved on with his business. Not long after, RM Auctions Inc., now known as RM Sotheby's, approached him about selling the Pierce Arrow. As an avid businessman, Wayne knew selling the car within such a short time frame was bad business. He had been in the car flipping industry for years, and he knew how valuable the car could become if he held onto it for a few more years. To keep the auction house away, he set a high price of $250,000 for the coupe. But to his greatest surprise, the company didn't flinch. They accepted his offer without hesitation and purchased the car. As expected from any auction company, RM Auctions later sold the Pierce Arrow coupe to one of their clients for $275,000, making a profit of $25,000. While the car has now changed hands multiple times, the real owner, Robert Richmond, was still in the dark. He only found out what had happened when he saw the car listed at auction, and that was when the legal battle over ownership began to unfold. Robert started contacting all parties involved in the transactions to get his car back. When he reached out to the last buyer who purchased it from RM Auctions, the buyer agreed to return the car to the auction house. With that, the companies involved, along with Wayne's, agreed to make a refund. But despite the assurance, Robert still couldn't retrieve his car. According to court records, the car was being held at one of Wayne's companies, F40 Motorsports, which held the title. Tired of doing it the easy way, Robert filed a lawsuit against Wayne Carini, his businesses, F40 Motorsports and Carini Carrozzeria, and Gullwing Motors to reclaim ownership of his vehicle in 2018. The legal battle lasted for 2 years, and it shed light on the matter. Apparently, Gary applied for the certificate of ownership of the coupe from the New Jersey Department of Motor Vehicles and received title to the car in his own name. Also, the lawsuit brought the media's attention to Wayne Carini and his businesses. In court, Robert, through his legal representative, laid down the fact. He paid for the car, never received it, and it was sold without his consent. The court reviewed all the arguments and transactions carefully, from Gary's unauthorized sale to Gullwing Motors to Wayne Carini's purchase, and finally to RM Auctions. Finally, in June 2020, the court ruled in favor of Robert Richmond. The judge also concluded that Gary Dixo had acted in bad faith. He ruled that he committed embezzlement by selling the car entrusted to him without the owner's permission. Also, the court ordered that the ownership of the car be returned to Richmond, while Wayne Carini and the other parties involved in the sale were cleared of all charges. However, they were all mandated to refund the client who had purchased the car. This included the restoration costs the client had invested in the car. Although Wayne was cleared of wrongdoing, the case left a dent in his image. You see, the car restoration world relies heavily on trust. Buyers and sellers need to believe they are working with honest people. When a case like this becomes public, it raises questions, even when the person involved is not at fault. For Wayne, the situation created doubt in the minds of fans and prospective clients. It also didn't help that his business was holding the car during the dispute, but that wasn't the first time Wayne Carini would be involved in a controversy. In 2011, Wayne Carini and his business, F40 Motorsport, were caught in another customer dispute, this time involving a 2007 Lamborghini Gallardo. A client who went by the username Joe3112D on a car forum claimed he was misled during the purchase process. According to the client, the car was in perfect mechanical condition and matched its listed specifications. However, one key feature was missing: a luxury luggage package that had been included in the advertisement. According to the client, the package is a high-end accessory valued at around $8,000. It was supposed to include matching branded bags designed to fit the car's compact storage space, which is considered a premium add-on for a vehicle in that price range. To top it off, the package was one of the main reasons the client decided to buy the car. Relying on the ad and Wayne's long-standing reputation in the car industry, the buyer went ahead with the purchase and had the car delivered. However, upon receiving the Lamborghini Gallardo, he realized the luxury luggage was not included. The absence of the package was immediately brought to the attention of F40 Motorsports. At first, the dealership responded and assured him that the matter would be taken care of. Both Wayne Carini and one of his salesmen, Mike Roberts, gave their word that the matter would be resolved soon. Days passed, then weeks. Emails and messages from the client went unanswered. The promises made earlier were not kept, and the lack of communication made the situation worse. The silence from the team added to the client's frustration as he described F40 Motorsports as complete frauds and accused Wayne of not having the spine to address issues directly. After weeks of being ignored, he decided to go the legal way. He sent a legal notice to Wayne and Mike Roberts, but even that did not get a reply. After 2 months of silence, the client finally filed a formal lawsuit against Wayne Carini and F40 Motorsports. As part of the court filing, the client included a saved copy of the original car advertisement. The listing clearly mentioned the luxury luggage package as part of the sale. Strangely, by the time the legal case was filed, that advertisement had been removed from the internet, raising more questions. Although the lawsuit never made it to trial, the issue eventually caught public attention after the client shared the story on a popular online forum called Lamborghini Talk. There, he explained what had happened and shared updates about the situation. According to his post, Wayne Carini personally responded by email once the lawsuit had been filed. In the email, Wayne said that the car's previous owner had found the missing luggage package. A week later, the client received the items through FedEx. To his surprise, the box also included the Lamborghini spare key. This was something he had asked for earlier, but had been told was not available. The client explained that he would have overlooked the missing luggage if the spare key had been provided from the start. To him, that key was just as important. Mike Roberts later clarified that the car was never advertised with 2 keys, which was true. However, the luggage package which was listed in the ad was missing when the car was delivered. The client ended his public post by saying that while the problem was finally solved, it should never have reached that point. If Wayne and his team had responded to his messages and kept their promises, the situation could have been handled in a matter of days, not months. Instead, it dragged on and only came to a resolution after legal pressure. Basically, the client expected more professionalism and better communication, especially from a high-end dealership like F40 Motorsports. Away from the lawsuit, it's been 6 solid years since the last episode of Chasing Classic Cars aired, and quite a lot has happened since then. First things first, let's clarify why the plug was pulled on the show. Chasing Classic Cars premiered in 2008, and it easily ranks as one of the best TV shows to ever grace the screens. Although Wayne is the main guy running the show, Roger Barr is equally important, quietly creating magic behind the camera. While many know Roger as a skilled mechanic on the show, he is more than that. He is a close friend of Wayne. You see, prior to joining the restoration world, Roger served as a mechanic in the United States Air Force. During his time in Germany, he further sharpened his skills and even raced as a backup driver for the Porsche factory sports car team. After returning to the US, Roger opened his own garage in his hometown and later teamed up with Wayne Carini at F40 Motorsports. Fans loved Roger for his honesty, humor, and skill. His role on the show was more than just turning wrenches, he brought a genuine vibe to the series that viewers appreciated. So, it's no surprise that many fans believe he was the reason behind the success of chasing classic cars. Over the years, fans noticed Roger's absence on the show. Speculation started online and rumors spread. Some even thought he had passed away. But that wasn't true. He was only hospitalized due to a leg infection he got while working at Wayne's F40 Motorsports. He was first hospitalized in August 2017 and returned to work in November after recovering. Unfortunately, the infection took a toll on his health, making it impossible for Roger to keep working full-time. Later, his health worsened and he needed knee surgery. His wife made a public announcement about his condition and created a GoFundMe page to raise money for medical expenses. What shocked many fans was the detail in the fundraiser. Roger's only source of income was from his job as a mechanic. He was never paid for his role on chasing classic cars, even though Wayne himself once admitted that Roger was a big reason people watched the show. This revelation sparked a backlash from fans. Many believed Wayne should have done more for Roger, considering how much Roger had contributed to the show's success. Thankfully, the fundraiser helped cover the surgery, and Roger recovered well. He later joined the Paddock Car Restorations in New Britain, Connecticut, where he continues to work on classic cars. Even at 89, he remains active in the garage. According to updates shared in 2025, he still enjoys working on cars and spending time with fellow restorers. The paddock has become a new home for Roger, and the team there values his deep knowledge and experience. They often share photos and updates on their projects, with Roger featured as a key member of their crew. He may not be on TV anymore, but he continues to do what he loves, restoring cars and sharing stories with those around him. The controversy around Roger's departure and the claims tied to his health issues still linger in the minds of fans. Some believe the situation exposes how poorly TV shows treat the people who contribute to their success. Others see it as a reminder of how quickly things can change when health becomes a concern. Wayne has stayed silent on the details. Although he hasn't denied Roger's role, he has yet to address the issue of unpaid work. Many fans see the lack of transparency as disappointing. Roger, for his part, has not given any interviews to speak about the controversy. He remains focused on his work and often expresses gratitude for the support he received during that difficult period. His posts show appreciation for the car community and the people who helped him recover. While the controversy surrounding Roger may have influenced the end of chasing classic cars, it wasn't the only reason. Rising production costs and other behind-the-scenes challenges likely played a role in the decision to end the long-running series. Outside the automotive world, Wayne is a dedicated family man. He has been married to Lori Carini since 1980, and their bond has remained strong ever since. In 2018, they celebrated 38 years of marriage, showing deep love and support for each other throughout the years. For over 4 decades, their relationship has stayed away from public drama. There have been no rumors or controversies about them, just a couple supporting each other through everything. However, their eldest daughter Kimberly made news when it was reported that she was diagnosed with autism at a young age. Autism is a developmental condition that affects how a person communicates and interacts with others. It can make social connections harder and may also lead to unique behaviors or learning challenges. For many families, this kind of diagnosis can be overwhelming. But Wayne and Lori never saw it as something to hide or be ashamed of. Instead, they stood by their daughter with full support. They made sure Kimberly had access to the care, attention, and opportunities she needed. The Carinis also became more open about the condition, using their platform to raise awareness and understanding about autism. Wayne has spoken about how important family is to him and how proud he is of Kimberly. Although she stays out of the spotlight, she plays a big role in their family life. The Carinis make it a point to involve her in everyday activities and continue to provide a loving, supportive home environment. Chasing classic cars ended in August 2021, but Wayne Carini remains as active as ever, continuing to do what he loves even at the age of 71. Aside from restoring classic cars, he also focuses on managing his 3 businesses, including F40 Motorsport. He remains involved in car shows, auctions, and private collections, always looking for rare and valuable cars to add to his own garage. Outside of work, Wayne spends much of his time supporting a cause close to his heart. His family has taken up a mission to help people with autism. Since his daughter's diagnosis, Wayne has worked with several autism organizations like Autism Speaks Car Show and Autism Family Connecticut, helping them raise funds. His contribution aims to improve the lives of individuals living with autism spectrum disorder. Aside from this, Wayne also spends quality time with his family. He especially enjoys spending time with his grandson, whom he believes might grow up to become a car enthusiast like him and his father. To share his love for cars, Wayne takes him to car museums, local meets, and other automotive events. He wants to pass down his knowledge and inspire the same passion in the next generation. Additionally, there are hints that Wayne might be returning to the screen soon. Not with Chasing Classic Cars, but with Speed Vision, a well-known automotive and aviation cable network once owned by Fox. However, he didn't share specific details about his role. It remains unclear whether he will appear on screen or focus on content development behind the scenes. Either way, the announcement shows that Wayne still has it in him even after his show ended 6 years ago.